They say empires are built on blood, and none spilled more of it than the Russian Empire. A colossal realm stretching across continents, it cast a shadow over history like no other. But beneath its grandeur, secrets festered, dark, hidden truths that most will never uncover. Tonight, we unravel 5 forgotten, twisted tales from the rise and fall of the Russian Empire. But be warned, these are the stories history tried to bury. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button for more content like this. The bloody gold rush of Siberia. Siberia, frozen, desolate, and unforgiving. It was here, in the mid-18th century, that the Russian Empire struck gold, setting off a deadly rush. Thousands of men ventured into this icy wilderness, seeking their fortunes, only to vanish in the cold mists. What history books fail to mention is that these men didn't just disappear, many went mad. Ancient Siberian shamans had long warned of the land's curse. Those who dug into the earth would awaken spirits, guardians who had slumbered for centuries. Miners reported seeing spectral figures in the fog, shadowy forms lurking at the edges of their camps. But the true horror was the madness that gripped entire towns. Historical accounts, long suppressed, tell of miners driven to delirium, speaking in tongues and carving strange symbols into their skin. Whole villages were abandoned overnight, the inhabitants gone mad or dead under mysterious circumstances. They called it the Curse of Siberia. Even today, those who venture too far into the wilderness speak of the whispers, voices carried on the icy wind, warning trespassers to turn back. The Tsar's occult obsession. The Romanovs, rulers of Russia, seemed invincible. But behind their royal facade lay something far darker, a secret obsession with the occult. The last Tsar, Nicholas II, and his wife, Empress Alexandra, are known for their involvement with the mystic Rasputin. But Rasputin wasn't the only dark figure in their lives. Nicholas had a hidden council, an elite group of occultists, astrologers, and mystics who influenced his every decision. Secret archives, now lost, hinted that these occultists believed in an ancient prophecy that the Romanov line was destined to fall unless a great sacrifice was made. It's said that the Romanovs participated in rituals deep beneath the Winter Palace. Old tunnels, forgotten by time, led to chambers where blood sacrifices were performed. Animals, and sometimes humans, were offered to unseen forces. The goal, to bind their dynasty to powers beyond our world. What happened in those chambers, few know for sure. But some say the Romanovs' downfall was the price for meddling with forces they couldn't control. When Rasputin was murdered, it wasn't just political, it was the final act in a long, cursed ritual gone wrong. The Romanovs' fall wasn't just political, it was otherworldly. The vanishing armies of Central Asia. The Russian Empire's thirst for expansion was insatiable, and nowhere was this more evident than in Central Asia. By the mid-19th century, the empire had set its sights on the ancient Silk Road, seeking to dominate the lands of Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. But there's one campaign that no one dares speak of. In 1864, the Russian military launched a covert expedition into the heart of the Kazakh steppes. Thousands of elite soldiers marched into the barren wastelands, but they were never seen again. What happened to them remains one of the empire's darkest secrets. Official records state they were lost to the desert, but survivors tell a different story, one of horrors unimaginable. According to accounts recovered from secret military archives, the soldiers encountered something ancient in the steppes, something not of this world. Men began to disappear in the night, their bodies never found. Others went mad, claiming to have seen giant, shadowy figures stalking them through the dunes. The local nomads warned them. They spoke of an ancient force that had guarded the steppes for centuries. A force that devoured intruders. The generals ignored them, and the entire battalion vanished. To this day, whispers of the Lost Legion persist. Some say the ghosts still wander the Kazakh steppes, seeking vengeance on those who dared trespass into forbidden lands. The empire's forgotten plague experiments. History remembers the Russian Empire for its wars and revolutions. But few know of the empire's experiments with disease, secret, horrific experiments that took the lives of thousands. During the reign of Catherine the Great, Russia faced waves of devastating plagues. But what history neglects to tell us is that the empire didn't just fight these diseases, it tried to weaponize them. Deep in the Russian steppe, in remote towns far from the prying eyes of the West, imperial scientists conducted grisly experiments on plague-infected populations. These towns were chosen deliberately, isolated, expendable. The empire wanted to see how quickly diseases like smallpox and bubonic plague could spread through human populations, and how they might be used as tools of warfare. Villages were infected, their inhabitants quarantined and left to die. Survivors who escaped these towns spoke of strange men in black cloaks, who entered in the dead of night and disappeared by morning, leaving behind only death. Officially, these outbreaks were deemed natural, but internal documents revealed that the empire was experimenting with biological warfare long before it became a global threat in the 20th century. The victims were forgotten, buried in mass graves far from the eyes of the world, but their suffering echoes through history. The secret of the Romanovs' missing treasure. The fall of the Romanovs in 1918 marked the end of an era. But the death of Russia's royal family was not the end of their story. There is a legend, whispered among treasure hunters, of a vast Romanov fortune, gold, jewels, and artifacts worth untold riches, that was hidden away as the Bolsheviks closed in. The official story: the treasure was never found. But there are those who claim otherwise. In the final days of the Romanovs, a convoy of wagons laden with gold left the royal palace in the dead of night, vanishing into the Ural Mountains. Some say the treasure was hidden in ancient caves, guarded by forces older than the Romanovs themselves. Over the years, many have sought to find this treasure, but none have succeeded. Every expedition ended in disaster. Treasure hunters vanished without a trace, or returned raving mad, claiming they had been chased by spirits, or worse. One expedition leader, before his untimely death, left behind a single, cryptic note: "The treasure is not gold. It is a curse." It is said that those who seek the Romanovs' lost wealth will be driven to madness, doomed to wander the mountains for eternity. Perhaps the treasure is real, or perhaps the Romanovs left behind something far darker than mere riches. Empires rise, and empires fall, but some shadows never fade. The Russian Empire, with all its power, wealth, and might, was built on secrets, and those secrets still linger in the forgotten corners of history. The Siberian gold rush, the occult conspiracies of the Romanovs, the vanished legions of Central Asia, the plague experiments, and the cursed treasure, these are the dark threads woven into the fabric of an empire that was doomed to collapse. But perhaps, the real question is not why the Russian Empire fell, but what remains in its place. What forces, what curses, still haunt the lands it once ruled? These are the secrets of the Russian Empire, but some secrets are best left uncovered. Stay curious, stay informed, and never stop seeking the truth.